Hi, Emmy's World. I am your today's discovery.
One. It could have been marketing, it could have been nursing, I guess. Why teaching?
Okay, to me, it could have been pharmacy.
Okay.
I so much love that.
Wow.
And actually, I gained admission into UNN
Yes.
after my WAEC, but then I've not seen the results and I gained an admission
Wow.
to study pharmacy.
Wow.
But lo and behold, my results came out and I failed maths. It was a D7,
Wow.
so I had to resit.
Wow. Right.
So in the process of resitting, that was when I realized that it's teaching that I was called to do.
At the process
Because-
of receipting.
Yes, because I started teaching when I was quite younger.
Okay.
When I was still in primary school, I started teaching in church.
Right.
For the Catholics, it was catechism. So I was teaching both the younger ones and the adults.
Yes.
So after the whole process and my WAEC receipt and the rest of them, I decided to go into College of Education
Okay.
to become a professional teacher. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. While growing up, we, not just me, but majorly many people, we always see mathematics as a difficult subject. I don't know. Is it because it's difficult on its own, or the teachers make it look difficult? Because we're
Okay.
still looking for X up till now. Find X, find Y, we're still looking for it.
That's algebra.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, mathematics is not a difficult subject,
Okay.
though students believe that mathematics is difficult. But there is something about mathematics. Mathematics is something we use in our everyday life.
True.
Talking about telling the time, you want to
Money.
cook, how many cups of rice are you going to cook?
Yes, yes.
It's just all about numbers. And the best way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. The problem we used to have those days in school is that our teachers never give us time to think, to help ourselves. They supply everything, thereby making everything look strange to us. Now imagine telling a child that x plus 2 is equal to 5. Find x. It's sounding strange.
Yes, it sounds.
But when you explain and you tell the child that x stands for a number,
Yes.
so what is that number you will add to 2 to get 5? It makes the child to think.
Yes.
But
True.
on hearing x plus 2 is equal to 5, find x, it becomes a problem. So those days in school, we used to make fun of it. Find x, we'll start bending down, looking under the table, shelf, and the rest of them to find
To
x.
find X.
But when I started studying,
Yes.
because the mathematics I had to go for in school, I studied into the mathematics. I failed it the first time.
Yes.
And I told myself, I will not fail it again.
Fail it again.
So I had to start studying. I studied a lot of textbooks to the extent that I don't sit down with pen and paper to solve maths. I look into my textbook, I already understand.
Wow.
I'm good to go.
Wow.
So
It's safe,
Maths
to,
is not
it's,
hard.
it's safe to call you a guru. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so did you ever know you were actually going to become a teacher?
what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor.
Yes, I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a pharmacist
A lawyer.
because of the name. I never knew that I'll be a teacher. In as much as I enjoy teaching growing up. But I never knew that one day I will stand up and say that my profession is teaching.
Yes.
My occupation is teaching. That what I do, what I love doing is
It's
teaching.
yes.
I never knew. No. It's a miracle.
I know very well that currently, or over the years, there's this backlash that is swayed upon teaching as a whole profession. If you tell somebody I'm a teacher, they just look at you like, teacher. There's this kind of downplay they give to teaching. So how are you taking it from your end? How are you taking that kind of perception from people?
Okay, if you know where your passion is driving you to, you should be able to defend whatever thing you do.
Sure.
And 2, the way you present yourself will determine how people will go around whatever profession you have chosen.
True.
I'm a teacher and I'm a proud teacher. And without telling anybody that I'm a teacher, they look at me, the way I carry myself in the market and anywhere. They will just say, are you a teacher? Where are you teaching? Without telling them anything. So at that point, nobody is saying, teachers, no, they don't pay well, and the rest of them. Their own is, I just like the way you present yourself. You speak like a teacher. So apart from the salary aspect, teaching is a good career. Teaching is a very good career. That's for those that have passion for it.
Have passion for it.
Yes.
Okay. Apart from teaching, I know you said earlier on that you ventured into pharmacy. Can you tell us more details, like all about it?
I really enjoyed my stay at the pharmacy.
Okay.
Though I didn't work in just one pharmacy, I worked in 3 pharmacies.
Wow. Wow.
At different phases of my life.
Wow.
So, and whenever I find myself there, I end up teaching people that also came to learn drugs.
Full of grace.
So, the pharmacy, why did I enjoy it? Because it exposed me to things I did not know.
Wow.
So, you know, in choosing career, sometimes people go for careers that you give them money, not minding what they will gain from whatever thing they are doing. Okay, it's more like a child who wants to learn skill or who is looking for a sales girl job to do. And the person is telling you, I want to work as a receptionist in a hotel.
Yes.
Because people will be dashing me money. You know that kind of mentality.
Yes.
Now, I don't believe in that. I believe in going to places where you will acquire knowledge. Knowledge that will be helpful to you in the future.
Sure.
And that was what actually made me to work in a pharmacy the first time.
Okay.
So I got there and I found myself teaching people that are learning with me. People that see me as the thick madam without knowing that they are even kind of higher than me and the rest of them. So for every area I find myself, I see myself learning and teaching at the same time. So I never regretted my stay in the pharmacy. Although now, if you bring pharmacy and you bring teaching, I will go for teaching all the way.
Okay, so I feel, what do you think will be the greatest challenge for teachers in terms of relating to students? What's the greatest challenge?
Greatest challenge for teachers in terms of relating to students?
Yes.
Okay. One of the challenges we face is when our students or our pupils are not open-minded to learn.
Okay.
I've been in the field and there is this drive when you are teaching a child and you see the child working with what you are teaching. And then there is this other one that when you are teaching a child, the child will categorically make it look as if you are not doing anything. It becomes a challenge.
Yes.
Because sometimes even when you want to take it further and call their parents or reports, they will always push the blame on you. They will always push the child back to you.
They are not doing enough.
It's your problem. So you solve your own problem. So the challenge teachers are having is having students or pupils who don't really want to help matters with their parents. It becomes a very, very big problem. Yes. So I believe teachers should work hand in hand with the parents.
Okay. So
keep pushing.
How can you change that mentality? Because now many students, they just have this mentality that maybe school is scam. I'm just going to school to just get it, just a paper or something like that. But at the other end, they don't know that this certification can actually place you in a high place in society, and you are just open to many opportunities. So how can that mentality be changed? Is it coming from the society itself, Nigeria as a whole, or this current generation, this trend that they don't want to go to school, all of that?
Okay. In as much as parents have their own role to play,
yes,
I believe with the teachers, we also have a major role to play in that aspect.
True.
For a parent to enroll the child in a school, there is a reason.
Yes.
You know, for every new school that opens, there are parents that will pull their children from their old school to the new school.
Yes.
and there is always a reason. There is something they are looking out for. Now, for a child to tell you that school is scam is because the child have not seen reasons to believe that something good can ever come out of school. So it is the duty of the teacher to impact that knowledge in the child.
Sure.
Now, teaching is not all about academics.
Okay.
If a parent enrolls the child in a school, the child is meant to develop morally,
yes,
intellectually,
yes,
socially, and otherwise. So, if as a teacher you believe that the only thing you owe the students or the pupils you have in your class is just to teach them biology or to teach them the mathematics that you have come to teach, you are not helping that child. Because by the end of the day, you will end up having great mathematicians in your class that cannot face the real life.
The real life.
Yes. When they see reality, they run into their shell.
Yeah.
So in my teaching process, one thing I don't fail to do is bringing in morals in between lessons. I can be teaching a particular topic in mathematics and something will just happen in class. Maybe I will just overhear a child call another child name. I will pause. Sometimes I act as if I did not hear. And during the lesson I will pause. I will just deviate. So who said that? They will surely identify it's me that said it. Why? At that point I will start giving moral lessons.
To them.
Why you shouldn't use vulgar word on your fellow students. Why you should always be careful and be mindful the way you carry yourself and the way you present yourself and the rest of them. The only way we can help the society and the children we have today is for the teachers to speak. Sometimes you notice that children believe more in what their teachers say than the ones their parents are saying.
Auntie told me in school, this is what I would do.
So once it's not coming from the teacher, some children, they fear their teacher more than their parents. So whenever the parent says, and you report to your teacher, you see the child begging and trying to be a good child. So I believe the teachers, we still have a role to play because we are the teachers working in the school. And if school is actually scam, we shouldn't be teaching.
Yes,
we should allow the school to be empty.
Yes.
So for the fact that we humbly applied to teach in that organization, it is our duty to make the children understand that school is very important.
Yeah, to impact them.
Yes.
Okay, so moving forward, while growing up, I noticed that there were some kind of teachers that most students, I can't really put the reason why, but I feel maybe it's because the teacher had maybe good social skills and was still able to teach. So most students, you always see a teacher that most students crowd around, but there are always some teachers that students are afraid of them, running away from them. And maybe it might even be that same teacher can even teach more than the other. So what's that problem?
Currently, I experience it in my place of work. As a teacher, you are meant to put yourself in the shoes of the students.
Okay.
If you are teaching primary 1, you are meant to bring yourself down as a primary 1 child.
Wow.
If you are teaching SS3, you are expected to act like a teenager. Are you getting the point?
I'm getting you.
So that is how it is. So teachers are not meant to be rigid in their action. Yes. You just need to be free with the pupils you are teaching because that's the only way you will learn.
Yeah. Okay, Mommy, speaking about playing time, I hope, or do you have time balancing both teaching and family? How do you do it?
Okay, it's about planning. You know, teachers, in as much as in the society, they are the least paid, but their pay is not my problem. But at the same time, if you plan yourself, that's for the married teachers. When you plan yourself, you will enjoy the work you are doing. Now, as a married person, you are not meant to carry your school problem back to the house.
Okay.
Because the home already has its own problem that needs to be solved. So when you can't manage your anger in school and you are bringing it back to the house, you're kind of causing more problem at home. So what I do is that I first of all empower my own home.
Okay.
Make sure everything is set. And if I must bring any school work home, it will be done at night. When I know I have sorted everything out at home and I am not owing anybody. They have eaten, the baby children are sleeping, my husband is already settled, doing his own thing. That is the only time I can bring up my schoolwork to do at home.
Okay, so there are some teachers, how will I put it now? They have this kind of, okay, yes, some that say we don't teach with materials or that kind of thing. So somebody teaching with materials, will you ascribe that person to like maybe being weak, he doesn't know what he's teaching, or he's always consulting the book or every time?
No. I used to have this lecturer. I admired the lecturer so well. The lecturer taught us one of the most difficult maths in school then. But you will never see that man with a book. The very first day I saw the man with a book, that book was old long notes, brown.
Ancient.
And he said it was what he used because I summoned the courage to go and ask him, sir, you never taught us with a book. Why are you now coming with this? He said it's the book. And as a matter of fact, the textbook for that course, I couldn't find the textbook in the library.
Wow.
So he said it was the book he used when he was still in school. He was an old man then, and he kept the book. Now, teaching without book is not a problem, but at the same time,
it's a problem.
It's a problem. Because sometimes we tend to teach off point. We tend to deviate from our teaching.
Yeah.
But if you have a kind of guide, that's why teachers, we have lesson notes.
Okay.
That lesson notes is it makes it easier. You must have consulted different textbooks, made some researches, and the things you have in that your lesson note or lesson plan are the things you need for that teaching.
Yes.
So the only thing that will call you back when you are deviating is that lesson note that you have written.
Yes.
And for the fact that you are the one that wrote it, it will also help you to flow very well in your teaching process.
But we already know that artificial intelligence is already in vogue, or definitely almost all fields are using it now. So for teachers, do you think AI poses a threat against your profession?
Okay, AI and the teacher are meant to work hand in hand.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? It is a means of getting information. So the teachers, I don't see it as taking over the teaching process because the AI can't really come and represent itself.
Yes, true.
So the teachers are to consult the AI. But the problem now in consulting the AI is that some teachers, they stand and they don't really want to think out anything. They just believe in dishing out information from the AI and giving to the children.
Yeah.
And it might interest you to know that there is this subject I was teaching.
Okay.
I don't really like English. I love maths. But you see English.
You don't like English.
I can speak it well to an extent.
To an extent.
That somebody will not say that this one did not go to school, but at the same time, there is something, when you love something.
Yes, the passion and the
So
drive.
there is this essay I wanted my children to write.
Okay.
But I've thought to myself, how can I sit down and start writing this essay and then still give it to them?
Yes.
So I said, let me just go for life medicine.
Okay.
I went online, I just saw something, I was doing cut and join from so many places, compiled an essay, and then I gave to the children. This class is primary 4. And then I gave them homework. I told them to go and write an essay. I was reading the essay. The thing was what the child wrote was so perfect. I just called the girl, Gabriela. How did you write this? Who guided you in this? The girl smiled. I said, I wrote it by myself. I just looked at her. She said, I saw it online. And she now said something. Let me tell you something, please don't tell anybody. Even some of those ones that I also saw them online.
Wow. So they caught you.
So that day I told myself, no, I think I'm not doing the right thing. So this AI now, sometimes our teachers, we tend to rely on it. We don't even want to find out information by ourselves. We don't want to think outside the box. We just want to copy and paste. That is the only problem we have. And sometimes our students, they'll be seeing all of those things and they will never talk.
Sure.
But the only thing that will happen is that they will start looking down on you. If they used to hold you on a very high esteem, it will start dropping. whenever you teach them, they want to go online and research, and they will even be showing their friends. So you see this thing she's saying now, don't worry, I will show you. So later they will just bring out whatever thing you have taught and dish out.
Yeah, and dish out. And they show it to
So
you.
I think it has its own good side, and it also has its own bad side if we don't manage it well.
Okay, if it's not managed well.
Yes.
Okay, so definitely you enjoy what you're doing in the teaching field. So where do you see yourself in the coming years? Let's say 5 years. Where do you see yourself?
Okay, in 5 years, if not teaching in primary or secondary school, I see myself as a lecturer.
Wow.
I love teaching the little children, but
Wow.
at the same time,
Lecturing
there is
a
a
wide
room for
field.
improvement.
Yes, true, there is.
Yes.
Okay, just the last question before we let you go.
Okay.
Can you apply teaching, maybe in just one word or in words, to life itself, like a philosophy, just apply it to life?
Should I say that teaching is a reality check?
I heard that. A reality check. Wow. That's deep. Alright guys, it has been an amazing time. If you have stayed up to this point, please do well to subscribe, view, and also share. And I'll see you on our next video.